Hi.
Hi,
Hey.
Hi, Morris.
So do you want
I'm
to
doing good.
give us a catch up? How did things go and how was, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just had a break yesterday
You had a
Good.
good rest, yeah?
and had a chance to go visit. There is a girl that from our community that passed on Friday. I
No,
hadn't
what
gotten the
happened?
chance to go and visit. Yeah,
What,
she died
how
of
old is she?
poisoning.
What kind?
Yeah,
What kind of poisoning?
no, um, uh, it was the story I'm hearing. She was given water by a stranger, and it was kind of laced with something.
Was he trying to drug her or something?
Yeah, I think it is kind of the situation where she was. It was actually around 7 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
and she was going to school, and then she met a stranger, and the stranger was like, they had a conversation, and she borrowed a bottle of water to drink, and then she drank, and then she went to school, came back home, she was no more. So yesterday I had a chance to go visit the family. But in terms
Does
of the
it
catch up, it was beautiful.
d-
Yeah,
does it happen often? Is this a very rare thing? Is this something
no,
that
yeah, it's a very rare thing, and the fact that no one knows the person that did that is also another. But she's going to be late to resting tomorrow.
how do you do that? What happens in where you are for that? Is it do you have a service? Do you have a wake overnight? Do you have a
What happens is when someone is confirmed to have passed on, that night is a vigil at their home all the way until the day of her being buried, and that depends on the religion she was in. If she was Muslim, she would have been buried the following day by 12 noon.
right?
If she is Christian, then depends on the denomination.
Yeah,
For Catholics, we do mass.
yeah.
She's from the Anglican, so there will be a service and then the interment.
And where's the interment going to be? Do you have a cemetery
Interment,
nearby?
no, it's not a cemetery. We have what is it called? Ancestral homes.
Okay,
For example, if someone stayed in Islam and then it is traced where the parents of the parents came from, that's where we have like family cemeteries here. So
right.
people are laid to rest in the ancestral homes.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that's
do you
Yeah.
do anything else? Do you plant a tree, or do you sort of like do anything like that, or you?
It depends on the privacy of the family, like these moments, it depends on how the family, wants to grieve the situation.
Yeah.
So we are yet to know, but I think later in the afternoon around 4 I'll be going there. But
Yeah.
in terms of the town hall that we had, it was not basically a town hall. We just found a place where we can sit surrounded by trees, and we spoke.
Yeah.
We
Town
were
hall
around.
is metaphorical. Yeah.
Yeah, we were around 30 of us.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
haven't had enough bundles from my side, but I think I'll be sending some of the contents. I was saving the internet for today's meeting.
Yeah.
So what we were deliberating is the way forward,
Yeah.
and the trying to look at because we had already penned down a plan before, assisted by Christine. I think Christine is around. Don't know where she went. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we were basically deliberating, and a lot of deliberations on the how far we've come from, from the point where we engaged, knowing how we're going to get the raw materials, how from point where we had the guy to go and negotiate with the beef farmers, to the point where we had someone to give us a backyard, and we were deliberating and knowing that we need to step out of that situation of relying on someone's backyard. And one of what we had on the table to get out of that situation is in our area we have what is it called, like an abandoned Ministry of Works. It was like a small area where there were some iron sheets, some iron sheet buildings, and we cannot use that area. But what we can do is that we can take the iron sheets and we can go and build in our land somewhere small in which we can be able to have our own thing going on instead of depending on someone's backyard. And in that meeting, we had some guy from the electrical, and we were looking at what could that look like, because now we are in a situation where it is either we get into a deal because he refused the profit sharing. That was even why we prompted to have a meeting and to have brainstorming. Beyond that, it's either we get into a deal where we will be paying someone every month, or we design a way that we can walk out of that situation in a way that it is pushing us even to go beyond what we thought. Because what eventually we need somewhere that we will have our own shelter, our own thing we can control. And the electrical guy was like, if you get the electrical meter, we'll be able to assist you to get into the power line for free. That is if you get the electrical meter. So that's what we deliberated, and then we got some people to volunteer to build if we go to that extent of having the iron sheets and starting to build something.
When someone says something like that, yeah, can you trust them to do that? Is it? I mean, people are, we've all had lots of people promise, do this and it'll be that kind of thing, and
like for our community, when we sit down and we discuss things, it is basically like a sacred. You are part of the community, and the thing that you are tied to us very many ways. For example, guy, the wife is the one who is assisting us in marketing, so he's somehow connected to the project, and in a way that when we were discussing about the situation going forward, we were looking at it from the point of how do we detach, how do we grow, how do we create a pedestal for some next engagement. And on Ed, we were talking with Richard, and I think I posted a group that 27th to that March we'll be having a chemical and waste forum in Nairobi, and we will be having some of the community to go and showcase. So that's what was prompting us to have that meeting, that we need to resume back on track, and in a way that it is assuring us of a future, that just like what we were saying, that it is not oh sorry just like what we were saying, it is also very practical that we went into this situation, because we were able to come up with another idea of how we can be independent. Because before, the idea was having an electrical meter and within someone's power supply, but now we got another deal that if we get the meter, we'll be able to be connected to the power grid, and we use our own meter and prepaid, and we'll be able to even with that meter a lot, and if it is situated in the land, that's a lot of ideas that can come, because you can have our own energy supply created there. we can use the energy supply to, you know, pump out the water from the pods, and a lot of things can be done if it is within that land. But now the constraints that we're having is that the land and the libam is not connected, and so at least the situation made us to think of how we can connect those two. So I think that's where we are.
Yeah,
and people are,
that's really good. I think that last sentence you have is the part that you're still missing, which is that the community is the connection, is a community venture, and all aspects of it
Yeah.
is part of it. So I would bring that back, and this is a much better outcome than if you just
Yeah.
got, and this is now looking more complete. And I think if you go back and think a little bit more, think about how it connects. And the piece I would say with this, again, this whole thing where I keep talking about documenting, you know, use your camera, film it, you know, as you talk, if people don't mind. You're not
the problem is that
to anyone. You're just keeping as a record for yourself.
Yeah, you remember I told you that I had given out my camera as a collateral for, so that was the situation.
But your phone,
but I think I'll be
right?
back with soon.
Use your phone, and
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need anything too fancy. You can just use your phone. You can do things like that, and the point is, it's to help you document, and as you go on, find is like great materials, just for demonstrating how things are moving along, and you create a story, the story of your community.
Yeah.
With it. As it was. So if you're a filmmaker, all of these becomes clips you can use later to piece together. You know, you can have your own voice overlay. You just show the thing. You don't even, you know, and you can set it up at a corner.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to capture everything that's said. You just set it up to capture the whole thing. It doesn't matter whether you get the voices or not, because you're going to put it with an overlay on top later anyway. The chances are.
Yeah.
And so I think it's worth doing that. One thing I have to ask you mentioned about saving the internet and the internet. How does that work in where you are? Is there community internet? Is there restricted data? Is it restricted bandwidth?
No.
What's the pricing like? Who is the provider?
No. I definitely use my own like resources to buy data from a service provider, and that's what I've been sharing with the team of around that has been doing the work. And I only do like 2,000 a month, which is practically I can try and look for something, because I have some small ice cream business going on, though it had slowed down because of my activities here and there. But yeah, that's something I can definitely manage. It's only that the last, as you have known, the last 3 weeks has been a lot of rush for me financially, and I really wouldn't want, and I'm not in the culture or in the business of, you know, like trying to use the community money, because, you know, at the end of the day, I will still be left in this community, and I really don't. There are things that I'm principled on, and yeah, so I'm okay. I'm okay. I think I'll manage. It's only that for the past like few days it's been a little difficult, but I'm okay.
Forgetting about that, when you say 2,000, you mean 2,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings? And how much data do you get with that? How does it work?
2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings. I get around 25 GB.
Okay,
gigabytes.
25 gigabytes. And how does that work?
So
what about in the community? What do people there do?
They are very selected people that are in the internet. I wish there was a way, because of course of also the phone, you know, like priorities are quite different here. People have prioritized surviving, and so it's difficult, to go into and unless you're using the phone to do something else. So very few people will have smartphones that can access internet. But we hope that as people grow and people will find the need, or even the government will create some cheaper solutions. So in the community, it's difficult unless you find someone like, for example, me. I have a team of the tech guys, so I just can't. I hotspot them. I put my SIM card in a modem and give them my laptop when there is work to be done. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And are there free Wi-Fi places?
No, there is not. There is none. There is a place that called the Youth Empowerment Center that I used to run, I think 2 years ago, and it crumbled down due to bad politics. So that was the only area where you could find free Wi-Fi. But since then, there is none.
Okay, so there's not like I mean, you said there isn't, so that there isn't there. And then how many people have something like a laptop?
Very few, very few, very few. As in fact, within the people that I'm working with, unless you are like, there's some students that got scholarship to go and study in various universities. So the scholarship came with the laptop, and the scholarship was from the government. So that's how they got the laptop. But if you're not a student, you don't have a laptop. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that gives a good context, and so I mean, I think the discussion, the way you've talked about it, has gone the way that I was hoping it would go, which is to recognize that you are thinking further and deeper about just where it can go. It's at a point where there is this part of that identity of what the whole community, what these things are, and how to move that forward along. I feel it needs just one more level before it sort of all comes back together. There is this part which you can help us with better, which is that I feel the progress that's been made, if you think back a few weeks, and I'm only looking at this from outside, I'm not seeing a lot of the things, so I can be completely wrong. What I think is that there has been, either you do this all the time, these sort of things are being done all the time, which I don't know if is the case, or this is something actually quite remarkable. I think that's a good question to ask first. Is this something, is what's been happening over these 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something that happens all the time? Or is this something that's actually fairly remarkable?
No, we have never done something. Actually, something like this have never happened in leave alone this area. I think also in the province.
Okay. So I think what you've got is a real story that at this point, the question is, how do we find the people who would go along and say, wow, this is really interesting? And I think what you end up wanting to do is to bridge out and sort of says, we are an example of a real life transformation. This is how we are adapting to climate. This is how we are adapting to environment. And you can bring in resources and support. And that's what I mean by that. Marketing you can do.
Yeah, well, that you remember I had brought out the issue of the chemical and waste conference. That's exactly what we are going to do.
Yes.
We are going to reach out, to tell our story, 3, and to talk about this new phenomena of transformational ownership to any of them might be willing to.
want to do with it is, if we can work together a bit on that, what you want to do it is pre-sell your product.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got this story, you go along and say, we're at this point, we're going to build this, we have this, we've got so far, we've got a product, will you be interested to come, to pay so much to help? Yeah, simple M-Pesa account or whatever it is, for relatively small amount, get a contact, subscribe, come to us on our launch day. You see, then you have a launch situation. You can bring people along. They can be, and then and that's where you have your videos and things that I keep talking about, and you can present. And even in those things, you can sort of present, this is how we've developed along. That's what I mean by documenting everything along. And you can remake those those bits retrospectively. You can have those conversations back retrospectively, got some clips along that you can do, and you can have something to demonstrate and show while you're there along. But in that way, what I think you end up doing is you end up having a ready audience to buy your product when they're there, but you've got a lot more because you are now teachers. If what you say is this is unique, you are now the teachers.
Yeah.
You can bring them along and say, this is our experience. We can share our experience with you. And you've completely transformed who you are in that way. You become the place that people go to learn. And so you can actually go along and say, you depending on how you want to do that, you can do sort of, I was just talking with Kaka, and I was talking, they showed me some pictures of some rubbish they're picking up. These things about picking up rubbish around Ngong Hill and around there. And I'm going to screen share so you can see. Just, I don't think there's any sound. The whole screen. And then this is that. And I'm looking at all that rubbish. Yeah. And I'm thinking, can you plant on it? I'm thinking, what can you do? And can you plant on it? What are the sort of things that can be done? And I was making this comment to him. I'm going to do that along. I was writing, I noticed the ground tends to be bare. So the ground everywhere, every picture I've seen is just bare ground. There's no kind of vegetation in a lot of where he is. So I'm thinking, can you make islands, use the rubbish basically to create islands of bare plants? So you can almost use it as a, you can use it as a, almost like you create a ring or something, right? So you define an area and you plant something in the middle, or you mix it in there, maybe some animal feces mixed in. If the business communities, then it can be an education program about it. And if the planting works, you can get it to work, then it can become an environmental activity people can pay to be a part of. Make it sort of a day out of an environmental element, a community element for families, for couples, even for singles to meet, kind of thing. So you end up reaching into, from the poor areas, this is like, well, we'll never have money to pay to do this. From the rich areas and the rich schools, the kids in the rich schools, it's all part of like a bridging activity along. So in terms of think back then about the avocado, the making lip balm, making those things, and the other things that you have, you're now extending it. And if you actually have a place now, you build a place, it becomes quite different. You can come visit. You can now actually. It's not so much. It's not. It's an education. It's about community building. It's about bridging. It's about learning how we all need to be able to find resources and be independent.
Yeah, and also yesterday, what when we were discussing, because we also discussed also about during the launch or during the meeting, we also discussed on the idea on the launch, and what we were looking at. There is a guy that was telling us that if we could make a video of the production, the sampling, the design of marketing, and some few random customers giving their testimony on the product, then that will give a wholesome view of, you know what, this is something that you can create, because this is something that you can use, because the people are saying that sometimes confessions of how a product, an experience of the product really creates that sense of, all right, so we have produced 100 pieces. 100 pieces have already been distributed. They are being consumed, and our next step is to have a launch. And the launch, this is how we want the launch to look like. And so to actualize the launch, and also to make the product penetrate more, we are having this pre-sale program. So we start with there is a first 20 people, very unique products, customized to your liking, like in terms of you have a sticker of your name on it, and for this product, we are giving this is the amount of money.
Yeah.
And then before the normal product, where we are having a discount of them, and then we can have people to yeah.
I get that, but I think you're still missing. You're missing where the real attraction is.
Yeah.
The real attraction is your community.
Yeah.
If what you say is right, that nobody around here has done something like that, that's the real attraction. The product is what comes out in a way.
Yeah.
People, if you try to sell the product, you are competing against many other very similar products. When you say put a sticker on it and get your name on it, it's because you're getting your name to be part of this community.
Yeah.
That's the bridge. That's how the iron sheets and the product and everything connects together. And that's how all the activities you do connect together. And that's how, when we can get you to help with make 2023 the year we stop climate change and everything connect together. It's the community in that way. And so what's special about that sticker is not that this is a sticker with your name, but you want people to go out there. So when you talk of the conference to go to, and we need to work on that. We should have another call so that we can understand it better and think how we reach out with that and get a banner or two and get some things along that you can do. But they need to be.
Yeah.
But the hook there is this story, and so you want to make a video, as you say, about the production and all those things. But really, it's the video about your community.
Yeah.
You want the opposite of what you said when the NGO made videos of, interview the people they gave the free condoms to in that way. This is the opposite video.
Yeah.
This is how you make yourself of your community and how that became this product and why this product is so unique. And then, of course, you've got all the testimonials about how fantastic this thing is, but you've also got the testimonials from people about just, wow, this is a fantastic community. You get the governor to say, the thing that they have done kind of thing. And then maybe if it's a daughter, she can then say, this is really nice. I love the smell.
Sure.
You see? So you want both of those in there. If you blend them in there, then you would yourself appreciate how the community is so special.
Exactly.
And getting that sense that you are someone special when you go to that meeting and that conference, you've got something really just to tell people very naturally about.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're desperately trying to say, this is really nice, come and try it. You want to be able to go there with, some of the songs and some of the things and just do that with it. It's just a background of a video, of a music, the kind of thing that goes there. And so my view of it is it's not like a product video, but it's
it's a community centric.
Yeah.
The information sent there is basically about how the community have been able to utilize their resources within a given solution of a problem of climate change.
Yeah, to see the resources, to see the opportunities, and the climate change part
change their life.
Is how we got in touch. It affected you last year. You were going to get the lining, and climate change affected your livelihoods.
True.
You said the funds you were trying to raise, you got $200, and then it stopped because the water dried up. Everybody's livelihood got affected. True. And so in response to that, this is what we do. So it's to recognize that there are always resources, there are always ways we can think of it. And when we can look at climate change and actually face it, and actually says, you know what, fine, but I'm not affected by you.
Sure.
And that then becomes a real positive message about climate change, because everybody is sort of like screaming like, oh my God, life's going to be terrible. But we're actually coming back and said, yeah, it's not going to be easy, but you know what, we can come together.
Sure.
And there's still difficulties along the way. We want to bring you along. You can help us. You can be part of it, and we can tell you about how to think about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination. You get the governor, you get his daughter. And maybe he's the one that says, "Ooh, love to take the smell of this lip balm," and she's the one that says, "I want to be part of this community."
Sure.
It's almost like, when I put on that thing at Marangua, we are Halisi. It's almost like you want then someone to say, I want to be a part of it.
True.
I want to be a part of that too. That's kind of like that final bit.
Yeah.
So you have that as your your video that you want to prepare, that you want to take to the this meeting, have a bit of kind of music along with it, and that's the pre-sale. For me, that's the pre-sale. For me, that's the thing that then says there are probably a lot of groups around who are interested to try and say, how can we envision our experiences. How can we enrich, our children, ourselves? Getting a horrible feedback here.
Yeah, something's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a little bit of reverb, sort of echo.
From my side.
You've gone fainter.
Yeah.
What about? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're much better again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Right. I think it's a dynamic journey. It's a journey that we're learning, of course, and trying to do something that is not there. I mean, it's it's not easy, but with the steps so far, I mean, we can only but appreciate the efforts that all of us have put into this, and yeah, looking forward to actualizing the video. At least I don't know. I don't know if this might sound a little bit. How do I put this? But I was just requesting that because could we like do the electric meter? Just that was just my request for now,
Yep.
so that we can get into the production part of the videos. And I really wouldn't, because today is 20th. Looking at it from a calendar point of view, we need to have testimonials done. We need to have the sampling complete. We have like 25 more samples to continue the sampling with. From there, we need to get into as the sampling happens, we begin some production, and then we do videos of the production, or we go into the marketing. We have videos of at least youth saying this is how we do our marketing, a little capture on that. And then customers just trying to say how the community has changed, because they are like the guy that I was telling you, the video that I sent to you, he was bitten by bees all over his lips. I don't know if right now he's feeling better.
Ooh.
Yeah, the video I sent.
What happened?
He had a.
Tell me what happened.
He had a mask on. What happened is that because he's the one leading the negotiations with the bee farmers, he he went into harvesting. And when they harvested, he didn't have, like here we are relying on, he was telling me they were relying on smoke. And it was not yet dark. It was around 5:30 to 6 p.m. So he got attacked by some few bees. But he's doing fine. I mean, this is something that he is used to by this point. So that guy has been like a drunkard for a while, and seeing him do something, like positive like this, it's something that even the community is commendable about, because it is usually lack of that opportunity to be better is what that lacks. Like people will tend to point fingers at you. You're bad. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. But they're not offering an opportunity for you to prove yourself. Like you're not what they think you are. Yeah. So I think that's a story that will be highlighted a lot by both the consumers and at least saying at least we are seeing some change. Not even financially, we are seeing some real change in some individuals that are part of this daily activity, because he leads the negotiations mostly of everything, apart from the negotiations where with the electric guy, where it is basically I have to go because I'm the one who approached. But basically every time he's the one who goes into the community. Like the meeting I sent you when we were on a round table, he was the one who was leading the team on the feedback. He has been really instrumental in patching things up here and there. And it's only that he doesn't have a smartphone. I mean, he's a very resourceful person that we can talk to. So just request.
Yeah.
we could do the electric meter maybe by today. That would be fine. Just requesting that, and also more guidance on on your side. We do more catch-up videos because we're going into a very critical part of this project where I think a lot of guidance will be needed to figure out also the pre-sale, and also when I was reading your text, there was kind of a membership idea that you are bringing up, like people to sign up. That's something new that hasn't happened, especially when you're trying to get someone to buy. He just wants to have a touch and go. He doesn't want to be part of that, like a membership of knowing I'm part of this. So I think that's something that a concept that I would like to be guided more on how. Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay, it's on its way. It's taking a little longer.
Yeah, so I'm saying the membership part of the project.
Sorry, hold on. You going to Barbara? Okay, all right. So I get you. I think those are great stories, and the thing is, you have to document these things, otherwise you forget them. Yeah, and the point is for him to make a statement himself.
Yeah, I was saying, the aspect on membership of how people can sign up for the project. I think it also needs another catch-up video of how we can design that, because that's something that's not within the community. Certainly something I've not come across, but I believe it's something that you have seen working. So we can try and build a context around it, because I believe it is a very important aspect when you're going to pre-launch, because it's like integrating other people who are not within the community to be part of the community. So
and so
we can have a catch-up video on that.
And so what you need to do, and this is important, because what you need to do is to be able to do it so you stay in control.
Yeah.
Because that's the key part. If you find if you don't stay in control, then end up, people come into your community and they start taking over, and that's not what you want.
True.
So you need to think, and you basically need to organize it. And the way I see it is to say, is really to think about how do you want them to come? How can they help you? Basically.
Yeah.
So you take the plot of land that you have.
Yeah.
And I think, there are lots of things you can plant. There are lots of things that naturally grow there, like even like bananas and those sort of things. So if you had some of those, you can, you saw some of those things about banana leaves, what you can make with it. If you get good with that, you can teach people, and that becomes an activity you can have people come in and be part of, but you control.
Yeah.
So you control when and those sort of things. It's like, going to a school. The school controls when the people come.
Sure.
The school controls what they do. And that's an important aspect of just thinking about it in that way. So you start recognizing all of your activities is part of this. The bit where we talked about the water ponds or the ponds.
Yeah.
You can have people come in the environment, they can learn, they can try different things. So it becomes a case of working out clearly what the projects are, how people can come and be part of it, where they come out and they get to experience some things. Maybe they experience how to form things and how to repeat what you do in their own places, essentially.
True.
And then you become that hub. You become that place that people will say, "Wow, that's where we learned it from." That's you get onto the map, and you've suddenly transformed yourself from being a place that nobody wants to go to being a place that everybody wants to go to. So let's talk a little bit more about that. This is taking a little bit of time to get through to you. Normally gone straight away. I don't know why.
No, I've seen it has come.
Yeah.
It's just arrived.
Right. Brilliant. Okay. So go ahead, sort the electric meter, do the things you need. The meeting sounded very good. It actually opened up the possibility now.
Yeah.
You've got more independence, and doing that is really important. And you now need to think about how do you get that story to be able to get more support, more income in. But this is, people actually are getting something from it. How do they see that? How can they come along and think, oh, that's a really, good way of doing that. So with that meeting that coming up, so let's talk a bit about how to plan that, so that when you go there, you're going to have the impact you want.
It's more impact. Yeah.
You're going to have this story. And as I said, the story is the community and the product. Think of it as, the governor and his daughter, if he has a daughter, kind of thing.
Yeah.
One is those guys along there that sort of says, because I think you should attract a lot of interest.
True.
So, okay, my wife just came by. I need to go and fix a sink. It's leaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to go and fix a leaking sink.
That's an emergency. It needs to be dealt with,
Yes. So are you okay? We'll stop this here for now, and then we'll catch up again. Yeah.
I'm okay. When do we have to next catch up?
Let's fix a time soon. So let me go and fix the sink that's leaking first, and
then we send you something, okay?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Right.
Bye, Maurice.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Richard. I can stay on the phone with you if you don't mind, but we can go back on the.
No, you go and fix the sink.
Well, we can talk while I do that. Yeah.
Okay. Can do that.
All right. I'll go on Skype.
I'll see you on Skype.
Yeah.